आई थिंक अभी रिसेंटली शार्क टैंक पे काफ़ी बातें होने लगी हैं डिज़ाइंस के बारे में, राइट? बट अभी ये जो इनोवेशन और डिज़ाइन का ब्लेंड आ रहा है, राइट, देयर टू अ वेरी हाई डिग्री आई थिंक इंजीनियर्स का कंट्रीब्यूशन ज़्यादा देखा जाता है उस पर, राइट? या फिर जब भी तुम इनोवेशन की बात करते हो तुम्हारे दिमाग में साइंटिस्ट और इंजीनियर्स ही आते हैं.
तो बेसिकली पूनम पांडे सबको पता है कौन है, ठीक है, वो नहीं बता रहे कौन.
नहीं, मुझे नहीं पता
भाई, तुम रहने दो यार. तो पूनम पांडे sort of fake the myth and like sort of वो एक
I don't know, I'll be very honest, there's some sort of tension, I think एक blockage सा आ गया है that we are not talking about it. That's why I wanted to do this episode. I like there's a lot happening like inside your head.
I think for me that was more ki how am I present in the environment I'm in, and again then a lot of that brought me ki who am I honestly, who am I supposed to be, what am I actually doing and what am I actually gonna do. So I think a lot of things in my head even right now are about that only ki
you want to talk about it?
I can talk a little about it, I don't mind.
Everybody give young man a hug after this episode. I think it's been a month Anany posted वाला podcast. मुझे सबसे पहले जानना है कि
गायब हो गया posted वाला podcast में.
कितना टाइम हो गया?
What नहीं हुआ
over a month.
ज़्यादा.
December.
Almost 2 months about to end.
About to.
अभी हम लोग क्या चल रहे हैं, February end है जब हम लोग शूट कर रहे हैं.
हाँ.
उस समय दिसंबर में गया था.
Okay, मुझे
नहीं वो दिसंबर में नहीं करा था.
कब किया था?
जनवरी में करा.
I think somewhere around January.
but like it's like one month.
रन का एपिसोड आया था. I had to do this. काफी I think it's going to be a month हमने कोई भी पॉडकास्ट शूट नहीं किया.
Okay. हम लोग ने ना वैसे तो हुआ.
नहीं वैसे भी नहीं हुआ. Last I think Mad Ad हुआ था.
Wait.
We shot it on
wait, trip अपनी Jaipur
this January end. Yes, we have to talk about Jaipur का trip. Yes.
मस्त थी.
That was our first outstation podcast. उसके बारे में बात करना है. उसके बाद बहुत कुछ हुआ.
और शर्ट का तो बताओ है क्या सीन? ये कहाँ से ली तुमने?
This sweatshirt, we have got a very special guest on the podcast behind the camera. So she just asked me to wear it. There's some story related to it. Hello Kitty or something.
तुम्हारी शर्ट नहीं, उसकी शर्ट है. Oh.
This is some Hello Kitty character.
कुछ तो है, I don't know क्या है, but like it's bringing a new vibe in you.
Oh really?
I'm liking that.
I think I should try more of it.
You should try. तुम्हारी क्योंकि शक्ल देख के नहीं लगता कि तेरे पे ऐसे वाइब आ सकती है. It's like refreshing vibe. मैं शक्ल लेके आदमी को लगता है गुंडा हो. इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा ऐसे मेरे आदमी को लगे क्यूट से भी हो.
Really?
Yeah, you should.
ठीक है. तो quite excited. Feels like a new episode again. एक महीने के बाद.
It is a new episode.
एक महीने के बाद कर रहे हैं and I don't know कैसा होने वाला है. But yes, we definitely have to talk about Mad Ad podcast. जो last
That was
वाला
a good
था.
one. That was a good one.
How was your experience? All of us, you traveled. All of our group.
It was nice. It was nice. हम लोग we got to a new location, new setting. It was the first time experience, so it was nice.
Right.
And again, getting to shoot in a new place, getting to know the person. Because shooting तो कहीं भी कर सकते हैं. It's just like I was more inclined towards the person who you're meeting, and that's much more beneficial and that's much more refreshing to see.
How did you like the conversation with Pranita?
Conversation मस्त थी यार. हाँ. Conversation मस्त थी.
अभी तक का I think most confident और honest podcast. सारे honest थे episodes.
वो तो I think it's a growing graph. Like हर एक podcast जब हम लोग shoot करते हैं, we also talk about this. हर एक podcast का this podcast was great. Regular podcast, this podcast was great. So that's happening. That's good. Like the graph is growing as well.
And I think it's quite essential for us while they are growing. And I hope आज के बाद जो भी next podcast होगा, we have got some great collaborations coming up.
Right.
So stay tuned for that one. But today, आज की conversation is about what all happened अभी पिछले एक महीने में. What's up with you?
चल रहा है भाई.
हाँ. Recently, I've been looking up on your LinkedIn.
Yep.
Lots of posts.
I'm just trying to be more active. Like I'm not someone who is very usually active on social media. So like if you check my Instagram, I'm not that much active. I usually repost stories with my friends. I don't post something by myself. but like I was like, okay, LinkedIn is a place where you can get to meet like sort of similar sort of people, and to meet that you also have to show the side of yours you want to show, or the things you have or the value you can add. So yeah, because Instagram is where like Instagram is also similar, but like there is little more not professional, it's more loose. So उसमें filter करना difficult होता है, but in LinkedIn you can filter it more easily, I personally feel. And honestly I think I'm still learning about social media in general, because I'm a person who has not, like मैं Gen Z की तरह नहीं हूँ. I was not born on I was not born with social media. I was born with जो अपने normal phones थे, जो button वाले थे. So that's been a new journey for me, and I'm constantly learning कि how do I fit myself in this world of social media where everyone's trying to show something or the other.
Is it important for every designer कि अगर तुम designer हो तो social media पे छा जाना ज़रूरी है?
छा जाना की ज़रूरी नहीं है, I think.
Okay, what if you're not active on social media as a designer?
I'm not.
क्या होगा? There would be some reason that you are trying to.
For me, it's about कि I want to sort of let's say on LinkedIn, my goal is to develop my personal brand and stuff like that. So that's my reason. But what I've also realized when I was mentally preparing myself कि okay, if I'm going to post on social media, why is it gonna be? Because when you start posting on social media, you start sort of looking for likes, looking for validation, looking for affirmation. And personally, that's what I think the problem is. So that's why I decided that I don't want to look for that. I just want a way to express myself, express what I have. I do accept that some people might not relate to that, some people might relate to that.
And that's completely okay.
And no, especially with me, because I am usually an outlier in most of the cases. Like I usually, like even since my childhood, and in most of the cases I've sort of been an outlier in most things. I've tried to do something unique, and I think it's maybe because of my name that I've tried to like sort of live
Does
up to my
Anany
name.
means unique?
So Anany means unique. So
okay.
the name is derived from कि राम जी का अनन्य भक्त. So मतलब ऐसा भक्त राम जी का जिसके जैसा कोई ना हो.
Okay.
So that's the meaning. Like in a way, in English it's unique. In Hindi it's like जिसके जैसा कोई ना हो. So something different.
Interesting.
So I've like been outlier in that sort of sense, and yeah, maybe that's why like it's different for me. And how do I have to deal with things? Okay. And a lot of time it also means that I have to I have to create my own identity. Now that's true with everyone, but then for me it also becomes how I am like different than myself, and I'm okay with what I am. Like so, yeah, that's why for me dealing with social media has been a very different ball game together. But I'm still learning, and I'm really enjoying that process right now.
Right.
Because I know what I actually want and what I don't want. I'm still learning, but yeah.
I think मेरे साथ भी थोड़ा same है. But journey for me, social media में it's changed since the last podcast because
yes, we've got a lot of followers.
Yeah,
we've got a lot
graph
of
काफी बढ़ रहा है all thanks to Pranita.
Yeah,
and we got to see a lot of traffic from Mad at Women ka page. One of our reel blew up like anything. It's somewhere.
And also, welcome to the new followers.
Oh yeah. Lots of new followers. So
yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Glad to have you with us.
We are trying to build a sort of community कह लो या कुछ भी, where we have these fun, honest, real conversations around designers.
Yeah.
We are not here to teach. There are certainly better channels out there if you want to learn and grow as a designer for sure, right? But जब से I saw कि इतने सारे नए followers आ रहे ना, it kinds of excites me to create more content. I've started reaching out to even more content creators, designers who are content creators as well. Because अगर तुमने last वाला episode देखा ना, Pranita rightly said the only change which design scene in India actually needs is more people to come up and start talking about what we actually do. अभी recently मैं पता है मैं 2 दिन पहले ही कोई normal reel देख रहा था, and then the other person she was a designer and a creator as well, pretty accomplished, अच्छा खासा उसका काम चल रहा है, एंड देन पीपल उसके कमेंट सेक्शन दे आर लाइक डिजाइन तो ठीक है बट करते क्या हो, राइट? सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक, व्हाई पीपल like look upon designers that way?
I think again the point Pranita said, because of lack of awareness about what designers actually do. Because if you're not aware about something, you assume कि it's something nice, कि हाँ ठीक है कर रहे हैं, it's okay. But when people start getting aware about it, then you start to realize कि okay, yes, it's not just something nice to have. It's something, an important part of let's say life. It's an important part of the social structures we are in,
right?
So it has its own, like everything has its own place, but again it's all about context ki for some people that doesn't matter, because some people are looking at it from a different context. For some people that matters because they're looking from a different context. So even if we get awareness, there will be still some people who will be like, yeah, design is okay. Like people sometimes look upon HR right now. कि भाई HR हाँ it's ठीक है, like HR सब लोग ही कर रहे हैं. But if you are looking at it properly from HR context, HR does have a lot of value. It depends upon what context you want to look at.
Can you simplify it for the audience? What do you mean?
Okay, for the designers. So
also for the non-designers as well.
So yeah, I was talking about the two cases. Like Pranita, as a someone who is specialist in copywriting, advertisement and all, she is still aware of those, because again design and all the creative fields are in some way linked towards each other.
I think she has got that curious brain and she's quite observant. And मेरी प्रणीता से भी ये सेम बात हुई थी, and she is like, she doesn't do it for the sake of doing it. She's like quite excited about it, and this is something that she really loves to do.
That's okay. That's nice,
right?
But the thing is, again, yeah, that's some point we have jumped on to ki she likes to do this. Now in general, this is something which has happened in society. This is what I feel. I don't know if everyone agrees with that, but creative fields are morely seen not as let's say, fields where you earn a lot, or fields which will get you more financial recognition, if I want to put it in a term. It's something passionate people do, and yes, obviously, if you see most of the designers, they're passionate. But then there's like this implied notion ki okay, they might not be earning that much.
Okay.
Right. That's not true.
But isn't that true towards every other occupation you see? Do you think सारे engineers को बहुत ज़्यादा pay मिल रहा है?
But then now we come back to the point of awareness, where engineers and now engineers also doing an important job. It's not that. But the way engineers have been hyped up, the way engineers have been sort of pushed in the public space, pushed in the point where people are actually perceiving it. So because of that, there's this clout around it. Okay, engineering कर रहा है, कुछ अलग ही कर रहा होगा.
And I think there could be a reason, because engineers are much more celebrated. ठीक है, NID के भी exams का result आता है, IIT का भी आता है.
But NID is not like talked about as on the same level.
Maybe I've missed out on that. NID फिर भी tier 2 or 3 cities तक, we come from tier 2 city. वहाँ पे it's not something much talked about.
It's about awareness. It's about perception. And I don't know. I was watching this. I said randomly, I was watching this reel. So this was like, I was watching a reel of Gulshan Devaiya, the actor.
Okay.
So he was talking about in general ki creatives ki baat karta. He was talking about actors ki how actors are looking for work, but a lot of their work also is ki they have to maintain a public visibility. They have to maintain a public perception ki okay, they are doing something great. Being an actor is also creative work.
Definitely.
Yeah. So they have to maintain that perception that doing something great for people to perceive you are successful. And that's given in some fields, let's say finance, let's say business analytics, let's say engineering. So there's the perception has been made already from the ground up. So you're already thinking, okay, that those fields are great.
All I'm trying to understand is where do like all these designers fit in? We've talked about army personals. We are constantly talking about engineers in all of our podcasts, right? Okay. अभी हम लोगों ने बात की बॉलीवुड एक्टर्स के बारे में, व्हाट वैल्यू आर दे एडिंग ब्रो? ऐसे सिस्टम में अगर तुम देखोगे, राइट, बेसिकली इफ यू लुक एट इट, ओके, एंटरटेनमेंट पर्पसेस के लिए ठीक है, ओके, आर इन डिजाइनर्स एंटरटेनिंग इनफ?
हाँ वही बात है ना कि अब अगेन द आइडिया इज कि वो परसेप्शन बिल्ड हो रहा है, धीमे धीमे बिल्ड होगा. इट विल बिल्ड अप व्हेन designers are expressing their things, when it will build up when people will talk about these things. It takes time because again design as a let's say field, as a discipline, as a publicly accepted discipline is very new still as compared to engineering, which was like which has been going on since I think 200-300-400 years. If you take a look like actual look like through history, if you see very clear examples for you to look, design का भी है, it's not like that,
right,
but you have to look at it from a very specific perspective to find examples of design there. I'm not saying there's not, but only those people know who have been very specifically looking at design. by engineering क्योंकि बहुत easily visible भी था, so that helped. and then again if you look at, I don't know how it relate होता उससे, but in Europe, in specifically England, the Industrial Revolution, a lot of it was based around engineering. So that and वहाँ से वो चीज़ें ऐसे break off होकर उधर गई, so that did boost it a little कि engineers are doing something great, and they are honestly.
I think अभी recently Shark Tank पे काफ़ी बातें होने लगी हैं डिज़ाइंस के बारे में, राइट, बट अभी ये जो इनोवेशन और डिज़ाइन का ब्लेंड आ रहा है, राइट, देयर टू अ वेरी हाई डिग्री आई थिंक इंजीनियर्स का कंट्रीब्यूशन ज़्यादा देखा जाता है उस पर, राइट, या फिर जब भी तुम इनोवेशन की बात करते हो तुम्हारे दिमाग में साइंटिस्ट और इंजीनियर्स ही आते हैं, राइट.
आई थिंक सो ऐसे मैं अपने ताऊजी से बात कर रहा था, एंड ही वाज आस्किंग कि क्या कर रहे हो अभी. आई वाज लाइक कि भाई ऐप बनाते हैं, वेबसाइट बनाते हैं. तो कह रहे थे अच्छा तुम लोग कोडिंग करते हो? मैंने कहा नहीं कोडिंग नहीं करते हैं. तो मैंने उनको एग्जांपल दिया था बहुत सिंपल. तो मैंने कहा था जैसे एक इमारत लो, हम लोग इमारत लो, कोई बिल्डिंग लो,
बिग वर्ड्स ब्रो,
जस्ट एन एनालॉजी. हम लोग उसके आर्किटेक्ट, हम लोग ये डिज़ाइन करेंगे कैसे बनेगी, कहाँ क्या होगा, कैसे स्टेयर बनेगी, कहाँ स्टेयर जाएगी, कैसा स्ट्रक्चर होगा, बड़ा होगा, चौड़ा होगा, लंबा होगा, वो होगा, ठीक है. बट हम लोग वो चीज़ एज एन आर्किटेक्ट हम लोग बना रहे हैं, हम लोग उसका स्ट्रक्चर सेट कर रहे हैं. वी आर डिसाइडिंग एवरीथिंग अबाउट द स्ट्रक्चर, व्हाट हैज़ टू बी कंस्ट्रक्टेड, व्हाट हैज़ नॉट टू बी कंस्ट्रक्टेड, विल इट वर्क, विल इट नॉट वर्क, फ्रॉम ऑल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यूज. व्हाट अ कोडर, व्हाट अ इंजीनियर डज इज ही बिल्ड्स द थिंग. सो दोनों का रोल है. बिकॉज अगर आर्किटेक्ट ना होगा तो लेट्स से वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कि वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर बिल्ड करेगा, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को पता होता है कैसे क्या बिल्ड करना है जिससे इमारत मजबूत होगी. सेम वे अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर नोज कि वो कोड कैसे बनेगा सो दैट द कोड is working fine, it's working the way it's intended to be. Only they can build that.
But I think ये वाला पार्ट, ये पहले से भी इसके बारे में कन्वर्सेशन सालों से होती आ रही है. I was in Delhi for a couple of weeks now. Delhi is known as Lutyens Delhi because उसने पूरा डिज़ाइन किया हुआ था, तब का डिज़ाइनर था, I think.
But like अब now design is being talked about in problem solving terms. पहले architects के terms से बात होती थी, पहले interior design के terms से बात होती थी. So now design is an approach to things. So now that it's seeping into other forms of discipline. So now people either they will have to know कि okay design क्या होता है, or designers will start making themselves perceive कि okay मैं हूँ यहाँ पे. They'll start to express themselves कि okay this is what we do. Like startingly maybe धीमे आ रहा है. It's taking more time in research. Like I think we've been discussing constantly कि research में आएगा कि नहीं.
That is one thing I want to talk about.
हाँ कि research में आएगा कि नहीं. Like because honestly I am not the most visual designer. I am more on the research side. I've always been. So this is something which always bothers me because will it come, will it not come, and how is the landscape going to be? That's why I'm always trying to look out for things like these. So it's still not there yet.
Why are you bothered about it?
I am because I am not so it's just right. Personally I like research more. It's not कि I don't want to, again design is visual in the first way. Like you look at visuals, yeah, like what people perceive.
If you look at like from tangibility point of view, yes, it is visual to a very high extent. Okay, we can't get away with that fact. But अगर तुम research भी कर रहे हो, you're researching to develop a design a system at least, right?
True, but why? I know that. Some people who are aware of this, again, a lot of people in designers, they are still aware of this, but not a lot of people outside design. So that's where the problem starts to happen. Because when you talk about research as a design researcher, let's say you start to talk about research, people think okay, तुम design research नहीं market research ले रहे हो. While there are similarities, it's not true. There are various differences between market research and design research.
Okay, this is one thing I want to talk about. Why? Because while our numbers are growing, इतना ज़्यादा भी कुछ नहीं बढ़ रहा है, but जो भी है वो हम लोगों के लिए एक significant change है, because this is something very new. I'm not saying कि ये ऐसी conversations पहले नहीं हुई हैं, but I come from a college, both of us we come from a college जहाँ पे marketing और design इतना closely blend होके पढ़ाया जा रहा है, और इस चीज़ की डिमांड बढ़ रही है या नहीं. आई वॉन्ट टू हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ कन्वर्सेशन की मार्केटिंग और ये क्या आ रहा है, राइट?
बिकॉज मोर ऑफ बिजनेस एंड डिजाइन, आई थिंक.
या बिकॉज अभी तुमने बात किया अबाउट डिजाइन रिसर्च एंड मार्केट रिसर्च. इवन मुझे भी लगता है थोड़ा बहुत सेम है, बट देन the kind of mindset and approach you bring towards that research is something which distinguish both of these.
Yes, and I think again that will also come with time, that will also come with awareness. So it will take time. This is what I hope. I told you because I want to be a part of that. I want to take on projects like these. But again, I don't know. The thing is ki outside India, in other countries also, I've been leading a lot of. So I've subscribed to Service Design Network. I usually read a lot of the case studies there. A lot of service design studios. So service design studios, a lot of there.
Okay, for new followers, people who don't know what is service design, we have got an episode dedicated to it with Ishida.
So do watch that. So, but service design network ki jo bhi case studies I read, there are applications for that. There are applications in many sectors going on. The thing is, with India is a whole another ball game. India is a whole another world. India doesn't behave the way other countries do, and that's
agreed.
And that's what sets India apart. But that also creates its own unique problems you have to deal with. So even though I read those case studies, I am trying to figure out how does that work, so that we can then do that in India as well. But then again, India has its own challenges, and that's what I'm trying to figure out also personally.
Like ऐसे क्या challenges है जो सिर्फ designers ही solve कर सकते हैं?
It's not about challenges जो designers solve कर सकते हैं. It's about how do you convince people कि वो challenges हम लोग solve कर सकते हैं. Challenges हर जगह है. Every country, every person, there's nowhere in the world where there's a utopia. Everywhere there's challenges. The thing is, India has its very own unique challenges, and to adapt to that, it takes a lot of time, and to also change the perception, because in India, perception plays a lot more role. Even in other countries it does, but in India, the perception plays role from the grassroots level.
Okay, now थोड़ा सा फिर से बात करेंगे उसी के बारे में, that you've started putting yourself LinkedIn पे भी and social media overall. What do you think design research को लोग कैसे perceive करते हैं अभी इंडिया में? अभी
तो रिसर्च को जो अगर डिजाइन में देख रहे हैं, usually it's from UX point of view. अगर जो चल रही बात, I think you had to complete the question. Can you just complete?
हाँ, कि अभी भी both from industry's point of view
and outside.
हाँ, आपकी डिमांड कैसी है, लोगों का परसेप्शन
इंडस्ट्री के अंदर तो like there are people talking about it. That's good. इंडस्ट्री के बाहर एटलीस्ट जो अभी तक मैंने को देखा, because I am also still learning, I am also on this journey. It's not that much there, but there can be gaps. We can figure out those gaps and then pull it out,
right?
But it's still taking time to understand, and again, a lot of it has to do with how we are presenting it, how we are communicating it. I think हम लोग के पिछले एपिसोड में जो हम लोग ने शूट किया था, we did talk about how कि designers aren't able to communicate what they are doing, and
communication is important.
And that is playing a role in how we communicate what we do, especially with cases like design research, service design, even strategy design. And again, like there, like anyone who would watch this podcast, at least 2 or 3 people will question what is strategy design, right? And honestly, it's still something which we can figure out. But if you want to put it in a simple way, this is how I've put it for myself. I don't know if I'm right or not, honestly. But you create a strategy, right? And I think in a strategy design, it comes. So if you're creating a strategy, you create from a top-down approach mostly. Mostly Apple's key strategy hai, and then we'll implement it. But in strategy design, what I personally feel कि वो strategy ground up से आती है कि you understand things from the down and you start building it and then forms into a strategy itself. You don't have to create something and then push it down. वो खुद ही उभर के आती है.
Right. I want to bring this अभी I think कल या परसों ही we were talking about it, Times of India का collaboration. So I mean when you're designing, you approach इतनी सारी चीज़ें तुम्हें देखनी होती है. You have to be aware of stuff, right? So there's this new movie coming up, movie or series, I'm not sure. It's based on elephants का poaching in India, right? And Times of India के लोगों में भी elephants होते हैं. There are 2 elephants, right? I don't know, like if you don't do your research properly, how the hell you're gonna come upon कि चलो Times of India के लोगों में and then we should collaborate with these people, right? This is not something I think managers or marketeers, okay, marketeers शायद कर सकते हैं because उनका काम ही यही है, but then designers are something जो बहुत ज़्यादा aware होते हैं इन सारी चीज़ों को देखते हैं and then make use of it. So what Times of India actually did, they had a collaboration with this movie or series to promote them. Front page पे they removed
the
elephants from their logo to signify कि
the collaboration with them and also to support them.
Right. That was quite interesting, right? And I'm sure उसके पीछे किसी ना किसी designer का हाथ होगा. Shout out to that person.
Yeah, actually. So that was very clever piece of thing.
And this is not new. I'm telling you, like these kind of conversations अब इतना upfront हम लोग बातें कर रहे हैं, पहले के टाइम पे भी होता था, but उसको लोग celebrate करते थे कि वो क्या क्या नया आइडिया है. लोग आइडिया को ज़्यादा appreciate करते थे and people remain unheard for a very very long time till date. अभी भी लोग उस आइडिया के बारे में ज़्यादा बात कर रहे होंगे, right?
Like you were talking about कि कैसे research करते, so I just went back to a time where when I was starting the college and तब पापा से बात कर रहा था after coming back home कि he was asking क्या चल रहा है, कैसे चल रहा है. So he was trying to understand कि क्या कर रहा हूँ, and I in a way sort of put it कि मैं research ही कर रहा हूँ. And then now the way he sees research is कि how scientists do research. But he said one thing कि okay, that means तुम research कर रहे हो, that means तुम्हारा काम ऐसा हो जिसमें तुम्हें ज़िंदगी भर पढ़ते सीखते रहना होगा. You cannot stop that ever. And he was like कि but तुम वो research नहीं कर रहे हो, scientists करते हैं, तुम लोगों पे research कर रहे हो. मतलब social scientists, yes they are social scientists, but तुम लोग लोगों के behavior, लोगों के लिए कैसे चीज़ें बनानी है उस पे research कर रहे हो. That's a very specific niche of research, he said. And that sort of actually helped me clarify कि okay, what kind of research I'm doing. We are not scientists. Definitely. We are not social scientists also. Social scientists do it on a very different way, but we are more behavioral in nature. I think behavioral designers will agree to that. I think behavioral economists would agree to that. And our research is based around human-centered research, what we call human-centered design, what we call. Uske around based there, and and it's not supposed to be you need to find some big solution for that. It's that how you understand the context and build simple solutions around that. Simple solutions around the people. Then that's what we as design researchers are trying to. This is what I feel. And again, as I'm on this journey, I think I'll learn more. I don't know what. So yeah,
I think
this is what I feel.
वो धीरे-धीरे होगा. जैसे more like we get to hear more conversations around it, वो होगा. बीच में I talked about me being in Delhi. So एक interesting सा मेरे साथ भी incident हुआ.
दिल्ली में कैसे रह लियो तुम?
हाँ?
2 हफ्ते दिल्ली में कैसे रह लियो तुम? मैं तो मुंबई अच्छा लगता था.
मुंबई अच्छा है, डेफिनेटली बहुत अच्छा है.
मतलब नो ऑफेंस टू दिल्ली वाले, मतलब मुझे मुंबई आके अच्छा लगता था. मैं इसकी पर्सपेक्टिव से बात कर रहा हूँ बस.
नहीं दिल्ली इज क्वाइट फन. आई जस्ट एट अ लॉट. 2-3
Obviously,
weeks
obviously,
बस
obviously.
मैंने बस खाया, नो डाइट नथिंग.
तभी तुम्हें लग रहा है कि तुम्हारे यहाँ पे फैट ज्यादा आ गया ना.
फैट
हाँ आंटी कह
Oh.
रही थी. नहीं बट वो तुम्हारी दाढ़ी के चक्कर में. मेरे को तो
So-
पर्सनली मेरे को नहीं लग रहा.
हो सकता है. सो दिल्ली में व्हाट आई डिड, आई मीन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बिफोर दिल्ली आई थिंक वी शुड टॉक अबाउट जयपुर. जयपुर वाज क्वाइट फैसिनेटिंग फॉर मी, स्पेशली वी वेंट टू दिस कॉफी, तुमने पोस्ट भी किया था उसके बारे में.
हाँ क्यूरियस कॉफी.
लाइक
इट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग यार.
आई मीन मैंने बचपन में शायद वो स्टील के
Steel
ग्लासेस
वाले
में कुछ
glass,
खाया
हाँ.
पिया है, या फिर इवन इन मुंबई में फिल्टर कापी से
कापी.
वो लोग देते हैं उस पे
स्टील
स्टील में.
स्टील वाले कटोरी में.
या सो व्हाट हैपेंड, दिस क्यूरियस कॉफी गाय, वी हैड दिस कॉफी, और मैं वापस उसको वो स्टेनलेस स्टील का कप देने के लिए गया, राइट.
तुम देने गए थे कब?
मैंने बोला व्हाट डू आई डू विद इट.
रख लेते भाई, मैंने तो रख लिया.
नो
भाई
सो
भाई अपने नॉर्मल मिडिल क्लास टाइप लोग जो होते हैं वो रख लेते हैं हम लोग. भाई रख लेना, काम आ जाएगा घर पे.
ये ऐसे बहुत से चीज होते हैं होटल्स में, बहुत होता है.
हाँ भाई तो लोग रख लो यार. मतलब लाइक दे आर गिविंग इट अवे, लाइक ठीक है रख ले. लाइक ऐसा भी नहीं चोरी कर रहे, तो दे रहा है बेचारा.
अरे मतलब इंडिया का यूजर बहुत अवेयर है यार. मतलब वो टॉवल है तो अपने लिए ही ना, घर ले जाने के लिए ही होती है.
do you know actually in hotels also they keep all of these stuffs like जो भी soap वगैरह होते हैं, they keep it for the purpose कि people will take it. They don't keep it कि reuse होगा.
That is okay, but have you heard, like have you seen these people, कुछ लोग हैं जो पेंटिंग्स तक लेके चले जाते हैं.
इतना नहीं करा है, इतना नहीं देखा भाई, इतना नहीं.
ये ऐसा
वो तक काफी है.
हाँ. So going back to curious coffee, right?
Yeah.
तो उसने क्या किया कि मुझे उसने वो ग्लास दे दिया, ठीक है. हमने उससे बोला था कि टेक अवे है, राइट. नाउ टेक अवे कॉफ़ी में मैंने आज तक लाइफ में किसी को मुझे वो स्टेनलेस स्टील का कप,
तभी मेरे को इंटरेस्टिंग लगा था वो,
है ना.
आई थिंक हम लोग टेक अवे नहीं लेते तो हम लोग को पता भी नहीं लगता वो.
नहीं यार मुझे याद नहीं, कोई तो था मेरे साथ. वी वेंट टू दैट गाय एंड सेड इसका क्या करूँ मैं, राइट. मैं स्टेनलेस स्टील लेके थोड़ी जाऊँगा. ही इज लाइक जस्ट टेक इट, टेक इट विद यू. नाउ you wrote something about it and I want you to talk about it. What were your observations?
So basically when I like मेरे को भी वही stainless steel का glass काफ़ी interesting लगा था, and I was like कि ठीक है I'll write this on LinkedIn because I wanted to start writing on LinkedIn, and like that was the perfect thing कि भाई this is something I'm liking, this is something I'm interested about in general, I want to express that, so I'll express that. And वही था कि like so in general मेरे को branding या stuff around like in general about branding and how brand stories are created and how brands like they have the message, they have a whole narrative about themselves. That's something that always intrigued me,
right.
So I was like okay, that's something that sparked again. So I was like ठीक है लिखता हूँ. And I was like okay, stainless steel glass तो पहली बात unique था. Nobody did that. Then it was a lot of like not just that, it was कि उनकी उसने cardboard का वो cover लगाया था where to hold it because stainless steel glass गर्म रहता है, so the advantage was,
or it will burn the shit out of you.
हाँ तो वही था कि like it was very smart कि actually उसका actually functional use भी था कि भाई stainless steel के ग्लास में तुम कुछ भी रखते हो स्टील में गर्म रहता है, बट वो हाथ गर्म कर देता है. so उसने कार्डबोर्ड लगा दिया कि भाई पकड़े भी रहो और गर्म भी रहे फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम, बिकॉज अब तुम प्लास्टिक में रखोगे देखोगे थोड़ी देर में ठंडा हो जाता है, वो बहुत जल्दी तक गर्म रहता है.
Right.
So वो था, that was a good thing, and then the branding on it was very nice.
अरे see the thing is simple सा प्लास्टिक और I don't know जो भी होता है उसका मटेरियल, उसमें it doesn't travel up to the top ना.
Exactly.
But stainless steel में तो फाड़ देगा.
It's a very good conductor, so heat travels all the way. So yeah, so the glass, the actual functional use of the glass was good. It sort of related to the brand also because when I stepped in the cafe, I got a very sort of I would say very wooden type of aesthetic, a very something offbeat kind of aesthetic. So that stainless steel glass, that cardboard cover with their branding, paper cover with a sort of a plastic band, so that to cover it, so that heat escape na kare. Sort of that gave me a very offbeat aesthetic of the package as well. The brand package ki offbeat aesthetic bhi tha, and again it was functional as well. It was not something ऐसे अजीब सही था कि यार एक आदमी को यूज करने प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. It doesn't make sense. So it was very fitting in the whole brand they created, and it was again very functional, very useful. So it was very complete. As a complete experience tha wo, I would say very complete experience. Like that's one of the way they curated a good experience honestly.
See, if you have that eye na, everything is UX. I mean, अगर तुम देखने जाओ ना, because अब हम लोगों का मतलब काम ही यही है, ठीक है, हर चीज़ को डिज़ाइन से रिलेट करना, मे बी इंसेनिटी है या क्या है, बट जैसे जयपुर है ना, whenever I say the word Jaipur, and yeah, we have a lot of people watching us from Jaipur. I love that city now.
Yeah, I also love Jaipur.
I think it was my first or second time in the life, but होता क्या है, designers, the way you design, be it monuments and all of that. Our friend Kanika, she told, जो मेन मार्केट था, आई एम नॉट श्योर, वो हवा महल वाला रोड है ना, उन लोगों ने इतना मोनोटोनस सा बना दिया, वो कंटिन्यूटी है, you feel like you belong to a certain area, right?
I agree.
और वहाँ पे वो फील आ रहा था कि हाँ मैं जयपुर में हूँ. सारी शॉप्स का कलर सेम है.
I agree with
सारी ऑलमोस्ट हर शॉप का you have that जो साइन बोर्ड्स होते हैं,
जो साइन प्लेट था, जो नेम प्लेट था, वो वही it was meant to create that whole experience.
नंबर्स था. So I called the Uber. Remember जब मैं अलग गया था जयपुर में, there was a time like मैं अलग गया था तुम लोगों से,
किससे मिलने गए थे.
हाँ, so I called the Uber. अब मुझे कैसे पता होगा XYZ शॉप का नाम क्या है? There were like hundreds of them. Not just वो एक शॉप के ऊपर भी स्टेयर्स से चढ़ के ऊपर जाओ, वो सारा चीज़ें था. Then similarly जो मैं दिल्ली में पहले करता था, दिल्ली में जब भी तुम उबर बुलाते हो ना, अगर तुम्हें लोकेशन नहीं पता और तुम कहीं भी मेट्रो के आसपास अगर घूम रहे हो, हर मेट्रो पिलर में उसका नंबर होता है.
तो easier to locate.
I don't know उसका क्या रीज़न है नंबर देने का, बट देन सिमिलर चीज़ मुझे स्ट्रक की, एंड आई वाज लाइक ओके, मुझे शॉप के नाम का मतलब पता होना ज़रूरी नहीं है. मैंने उबर वाले से बोला क्या नंबर क्या है, मुझे बस वही बता दो. आई वाज इजीली एबल टू नेविगेट. So if you have to think about it, it is design. It is a communication design.
It's a very good communication design, honestly.
Right? If you have to navigate your users easily, तो numbers हमेशा याद रहता है.
Obviously, yes.
Right.
That's true.
So एक ये interesting चीज़ थी. Next we like I went to Delhi. You were there. How was your experience in Delhi?
अच्छा लगा.
First time, है ना?
It was the first time. I know it's shocking, but like मेरे को दिल्ली में कोई काम रहा नहीं, इसलिए I have never been to Delhi for any reason. I've been to Gurgaon because one of my childhood friends, our family friends, like they've shifted to Gurgaon from Kanpur. So I've gone to Gurgaon a couple of times from like when I had to go out of country. So while we used to come back, and even if we had some work, so we used to go there, so that like very few times we get the chance to meet them now, because they're there and we're in Kanpur, and we have no actually work in the Delhi and Gurgaon side. So once in a while when we get the time, we go and stay with them. So uske alawa, yeah, but again I think I have to say Delhi ke momo actually अच्छे हैं. Like I didn't know the momos, but I was like, yeah, Delhi ke momo है अच्छे.
Delhi's momos are best in the world. And I haven't ate कहीं भी बाहर, but yeah.
And in general, I actually like the metro का पूरा whole system there. It was
your first time in Delhi metro?
Yes, it was.
Actually, you were in Delhi for the first time.
So it was a very good system. Honestly, I like that.
Bro, Delhi.
Like actually that is similar to our Mumbai local. It's just that कि Mumbai the reason कि भाई वहाँ पे क्योंकि there was not local there, and वहाँ पे metro had the same access to all the areas which the Mumbai local has. And again, because that's a metro, it's designed very well, and the whole system is designed great. So that's why Delhi metro is so effective, so functional, and so good.
I mean, like it's a piece of design, I would say.
Definitely.
हर चीज सोच के उसको प्लान किया गया. Be it communication for any newbie in traveling in Delhi metro, it's so easy to navigate.
At one point when I had to go separate to meet a friend, and I didn't have my battery in the phone. So luckily you told me okay, there was a charging point, you charged it, and then I was easily able to go where I wanted to.
ये सब कुछ design है.
Obviously, yes.
I mean, you want that seamless experience. तुमने लोगों को charging point दे दिया, तुमने लोगों को easily वो
I like that whole wayfinding
that is one thing we need to talk about.
Because that helped me to actually figure out कि मेरे को कहाँ जाना है.
It's a prime example of communication design. Delhi Metro का
जो मेट्रो के ऊपर
wayfinding है.
हाँ wayfinding है. So basically जो मेट्रो के ऊपर जो पूरा लगा होता है, I think मुंबई वाले में नहीं है, लोकल में नहीं है. I think.
I'm not sure. I've never traveled. हो सकता है, but I'll tell you. So wayfinding के बहुत सारे prime examples which you should learn from Delhi Metro.
Actually yes.
So सबसे पहले जितने भी स्टेशंस का रूट है, हर मेट्रो कोच के अंदर यू गेट
टू सी कि किस स्टेशन पे आ रहा है.
एक वो चीज है.
एंड देन सेकंडली कलर कोडिंग. तुम्हें कोई लेन चेंज करनी, सो दे टेल यू कि इस पे आके तुम इस लाइन पे जा पाओगे व्हेन यू हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ द ट्रेन.
या तुम्हें कोई भी रूट लेना है, यू जस्ट पॉइंट आउट कलर्स एंड हाउ दे हैव लाइक सीमलेसली इंटीग्रेटेड इट. नॉट जस्ट दी मेट्रो. अगर तो मेट्रो के बाद स्टेशन में भी जाओगे, जो भी इंटरकनेक्टेड इंटरचेंज वाले स्टेशन होते हैं ना, you'll actually get to see foot steps with that particular color code. For example,
that I didn't see honestly.
Okay, let's say blue line. That's the most traveled line.
Actually, I don't think मैं एक ही line travel करता. I didn't change.
So let's say you are traveling from blue line और राजीव चौक स्टेशन से तुम्हें येलो लाइन पे जाना है. मैंने रेयरली लोगों को पूछते हुए देखा है कि येलो वाली लाइन कहाँ से मिलेगी. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सेम कलर्स हर जगह यूज हो रहे हैं, एंड देन यू एक्चुअली गेट टू सी फुट स्टेप्स विद दैट कलर इटसेल्फ. तुम ब्लू लाइन से निकले, तुमने देखा येलो स्टेप्स किधर जा रहे हैं, दैट विल एक्चुअली लीड यू टू दैट प्लेटफॉर्म. बिना किसी उसके तुम आराम से ट्रैवल कर सकते हो.
That's actually good. I really like that. Those few pieces of design there. Like again, that's design also. It is that ki that's so common, like it gets hidden कि भाई वो design है. That's what I'm talking about कि वो awareness और visibility नहीं है कि okay ये सब चीज़ें भी design है. They're like हाँ ये तो है तो. Like then why are you terming it something else? That's what the general masses say. But like no, there has been some thought behind it. And I think you have to look at it from that perspective. You have to want it to look at it from that perspective for you to actually see okay there is design. And again there's also the part where we all designers will start to express ourselves more in the public eye, in the public perception. And I think both sides, it's not just one side that has to come. Both sides have to come together to actually reach a point where there is definitely connection and visibility.
We are doing our bit for sure. We're trying to have several conversations. बहुत बार हो सकता है कि conversations repeat भी हो रही होगी, but that's okay जब तक ये बार बार वो बातें नहीं होंगी.
Again ये मतलब ये तो repeat भी करेंगे, normal बातें हैं जो हम लोग करते हैं. Like वो repeat हो, that means कि these are the things we talk about.
It's just that we shed light from designers lens कि भाई जो तुम normal day to day चीज़ों में कर रहे हो ना, for parents listening to us, when their kids reach out to you, right, कि मुझे design करना है, then you have to look around yourself and while you travel through metro, while you book your Uber, you have to think about all those designers जो daily कर रहे हैं, right? और दिल्ली की बात किया गया तो I went to this World Book Fair. काफ़ी अच्छा था. Like क्या नहीं था वहाँ पर, right? तो मैं काफका पढ़ना है. हाँ, वहाँ पे काफका था, जितने भी क्लासिक्स थे, विलियम शेक्सपियर, ब्ला ब्ला, लिटरेचर, साइंस, व्हाट नॉट. डिज़ाइन की मुझे गिनती की 2 या 3 बुक्स मिली हैं.
जब डिज़ाइन की एक्चुअली बहुत बुक्स है.
बहुत बुक्स है
भाई. That's what I'm talking about. Like everywhere we talk about that comes in कि public perception, public visibility भी नहीं आ रही डिज़ाइन में. वो धीमे धीमे जैसे बिल्ड होगी, things will at least be different from what it is now.
I'm not saying fiction is not good. मैं पढ़ता हूँ, ये सब कुछ है, but then उस चीज़ को generalize ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें करेंगी, right? Designers should, when I say be observant, books पढ़ो यार, इतनी सारी books हैं. माही अभी recent वाले podcast में she told me about creative confidence and I was lucky. Creative confidence वहाँ पर मुझे मिली and I got that.
Okay, how's it?
I've just started reading.
I was looking to read that.
Too good. Like उसने idea के बारे में लिखा है. To read, मैं पढ़ के बता पाऊँगा.
I'll read actually.
But then that is something I have heard about, and this could be a reason कि creative confidence के बारे में there have been several conversations. That's the reason वो वहाँ पर है.
That's what I'm saying कि वो conversations हुई इस बारे में, perception में आ रहा है वो चीज़, visibility में आ रही. So now that compounds. Simple.
Right.
That compounds.
हाँ, so ये सारा हुआ अभी पिछले 1 महीने में.
बड़ा कुछ हो गया.
Talked about. Shbang is something I want to talk about. Poonam Pandey controversy, right? And designers का काफी important role था इस पे, but maybe shall we cover it इसमें?
I think we can have we can touch it upon a little more.
Yes, we should.
And I think then we can look for someone who has more in-depth knowledge about this.
Yes, we have further collaborations coming up, maybe in a month or so.
Yeah, but I think just to touch up, we can just discuss it in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so it's basically primarily a advertising, marketing, or it's a creative agency. And for people who don't know what happened, so
but just clear कर देते हैं. So basically पूनम पांडे सबको पता है कौन है, ठीक है, वो नहीं बता रहे कौन है.
नहीं, मुझे नहीं पता
भाई, तुम रहने दो यार. So Poonam Pandey sort of faked her death and sort of वो एक marketing gimmick था, and what we got to found out कि भाई Schbang was behind that. Now the thing is कि everyone's like कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए मजाक. Why are you doing this kind of stuff? And I don't know what's the reason why Schbang did it. Or because honestly I'm not there, so I cannot think in their context. There might be some reason why they're doing that.
But these are things that we should consider, because uske pehle tak it didn't struck me, not the death. I don't really have an opinion about it yet. I'll have to think about it. But what struck me was social responsibilities of designers and creators.
I think if you look at it, कि impact कैसे पड़ा design को.
हाँ.
You look at it भाई ना, हम वही बात करते हैं कि लोग कहते हैं design का impact क्या पड़ा. एक दो का impact पड़ा. It was not good, but it was impact. So that was it, the impact. It's about how you are. So even in the pursuit of creativity, even in the pursuit of, let's say, sort of value creation through design. Personally, what I feel, I don't know what happened at Schbang. I don't know how this whole process came to be. I don't know anything about it. But what I feel personally is that you need to know where, again, because we are researching about people, because we are creating design for the people, we should need to know कि उससे related people का क्या impact पड़ेगा about whatever we design. भाई हम लोग के में stakeholder mapping होती है, right? So there is a primary stakeholder. We design for usually that, but a lot of times the tertiary stakeholders.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people
who are
stakeholder mapping नहीं पता होगा, तुम्हें बताना होगा कि
stakeholder mapping simply होती क्या है कि,
और stakeholder क्या होता है?
हाँ, stakeholder basically होते हैं कि एक process में कौन से तरीके के लोग involve होते हैं. Let's say your consumer, let's say your employees if you're a company, let's say your managers, let's say तुम्हारे vendors, suppliers. So कोई भी एक business के context में भी देखो तो आसपास से तुम जो भी तुमसे interact करे वो तुम्हारे stakeholders होते हैं, कि उसकी कोई stake है उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस या उस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में. सो प्राइमरी हुआ मतलब जो कोर स्टेक होल्डर है, फिर सेकेंडरी मतलब जो उनका सेकेंडरी इंटरेक्शन हो रहा है, टर्शरी मतलब कि जो दूर के हैं बट उनके कुछ ना कुछ करने से तुम्हारे काम पे इन्फ्लुएंस पड़ रहा है.
सो भाई अगर स्टेक होल्डर्स की बात करो, डेफिनेटली पूरे इंडिया में फैला ये वाला स्टंट, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट. ओके, अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट नंबर्स, लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट Poonam Pandey, right? But designers, I'm telling you, cervical cancer के बारे में इतनी बातें शायद हुई हो या नहीं हो, but हम लोगों की community में people have largely started talking about Schbang as a creative agency as well. And I would definitely like to cover it in the coming episode.
हाँ, वही बात है. Personally, you have to just look at कि तुम्हारे core stakeholders के लिए जो तुम काम कर रहे हो उसका इम्पैक्ट और लोगों पे भी कैसे पड़ा, बिकॉज यू आर पुटिंग योर वर्क थ्रू अ कोर पर्सन जिसलिए तुम डिजाइन कर रहे हो. सो आई थिंक जस्ट बीइंग अवेयर अबाउट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग, जस्ट ट्राइंग टू मेक श्योर कि अगेन इंक्लूसिविटी आई वुड से इट कम्स इन दैट, आई डोंट नो पर्सनली स्पीकिंग, कि तुम जिसके लिए भी डिजाइन कर रहे हो जस्ट मेक श्योर you do right by the person around them also. It's not just one person you're designing for. You're designing for your solution can impact a lot of other people as well. In general life भी ये true है. So just be very careful कि तुम क्या चीज़ कर रहे हो, वो चीज़ औरों को कैसे impact करने वाली है. I think if we're just mindful of that, I think that's enough as a designer.
इसका रील तो निकालना बनता है. Well, definitely.
So, but I think we should cover that with someone who's more in depth with this, whole process with those
yes,
whole जो हुआ था ये scene.
We have some good collaborations coming up,
so
and I'll definitely
yeah, I think
cover
उसमें
it.
cover करेंगे तो like we like people have now got an idea about it, but like अब जब cover करेंगे so that will be much more enriching for the audience as well.
For all the designers who are watching our episode, comments में बताओ what's your opinion about this Poonam Pandey death का जो भी fake death का stunt है. Why I'm asking you guys because तुम्हें क्या लगता है as designers वो होना चाहिए था या नहीं?
Opinion बस opinion. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm no one to
and
judge.
Again,
but
in designers में यही कही design is subjective. सबकी opinion है. ठीक है. आगे बढ़ो.
और क्या बात करनी है नज?
बताओ.
I mean, so like as designer ना, so मेरा भी mind shift हुआ था जब मैं पहली बार दिल्ली से मुंबई shift हुआ. Like
mind shift from Delhi to Mumbai shift.
Delhi to Mumbai मतलब ये था ना कि like I was surrounded with a lot of creative people, right? For like in a very long time I disconnected myself, right? To I mean मुझे एक बार ट्राई करके देखना था कि ठीक है अगर मेरे पास क्रिएटिव लोग इतने नहीं हैं then मेरी ग्रोथ पे कैसा इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. बिकॉज ये बहुत लोगों का कंसर्न है एंड प्रणीता के साथ भी एक डिस्कशन हुआ था कि देयर आर टू काइंड ऑफ पीपल जो अकेले में ही रह रहे थे. बट आई ऑल्सो फील उन लोगों का सोशल लाइफ इंटरनेट पे एटलीस्ट काफ़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग होता है.
Obviously, again, it's very complex thing. It's not कि ये ऐसे like there are complexities person to person.
So and I think in about 2 years now it was for the first time that we didn't speak for like 1 or 2 weeks. Like
कैसा लगा तुम्हें? कैसा लगा तुम्हें?
I don't know. There's a I don't know. I'll be very honest. There's a some sort of tension. I think एक blockage सा आ गया है that we are not talking about it. That's why I wanted to do this episode. I like there's a lot happening like inside your head which I'm not really getting to know.
Like I would say कि so जब तुम दिल्ली थे तो मैं वापस होम टाउन गया था कानपुर. So I think for me it was like I have been sort of like पिछले जैसे since college over हुआ काम start करें everything. So a lot of things have been going on. So I wanted कि मैं घर लाके break लूँ कि like I just want कि मैं घर पे रहूँ mom dad साथ समारा के साथ with my pet Zara and chill मारूँ. like मतलब काम तब भी आ रहा था, काम करना वो तो है ही इधर उधर, but like I wanted कि मैं उस environment like उस environment में present रहूँ. I was not able to be present in that environment and तो उधर present रहूँ. And then again so वही चीज़ था. So I think for me that was more कि how am I present in the environment I'm in and again then a lot of that brought me कि who am I honestly, who am I supposed to be, what am I actually doing and what am I actually gonna do. So I think a lot of things in my head even right now are about that only कि
you want to talk about it?
I can talk a little about it, I don't mind. But like I'll talk about like I cannot share the personal details away, but like yeah, not too personal, but like I'll still give an idea कि मैं दिमाग में चल क्या रहा है. So even as a creative person in general, and so you have to find your identity कि तुम कैसे हो क्या करना है. Because there's like if you're talking about management, if you're talking about finance, if you're talking about any field, you know कि okay ये specific चीजें करनी है and then you are that person.
Okay.
In these kind of fields you can be anyone, but then that also creates a paradox कि you are no one, because until unless you figured out who you are, who are you. And in general ये होता है like with like again we as creators have been taught, have been conditioned to be comfortable in the unknown as compared to the normal population, but still that does affect you in some or the other way. And yeah, so I think that's something which I've been sort of dealing with a lot कि okay, now that I'm at this stage, like okay, let's say I'm at a particular stage today, whatever the day is, I don't know क्या दिन है honestly, but then who am I, how am I supposed to be, how am I actually supposed to create value in the world and also do something which I am actually inspired by getting up every day in the morning. So वो चीज़ अभी भी figure out हो रही है. And again there's also this fact कि हम लोग अभी भी young हैं. So these things will change.
अभी बहुत young है.
वही अभी तो बहुत young है. So
अभी तो बस start ही हुआ है.
हाँ, तो these things that have like it has been happening for a couple of weeks, but like हाँ these things अब लाके थोड़े दिमाग में चले, so I'm already considering कि and then there's okay, the thing with me is कि like I said कि I am sort of an outlier. So when you're an outlier, you you actually don't conform to normal patterns of life. You operate differently. But then in that there's always this caveat of you not being able to figure out what is actually right for you, what is actually wrong for you, what is actually worth it for you or not, or if that will give you the thing you're craving for, the identity you're craving for or not.
Right.
And that's something I've been trying to discover. That's something. So I thought ki okay, what I'm doing is like right, like even my personal life, the things I'm doing, or even the other projects I'm trying to sort of pursue. But like a lot of that was still in my head, and what I realized ki I was not, because I had this notion कि okay मैं अगर अपने पास ही रख like maybe वो चीज़ और लोग देखेंगे तो maybe reject करेंगे, अच्छा लगेगा नहीं लगेगा. I was like ठीक है, it is difficult my whatever I'm doing, but I'll keep at it and I'll do it somewhere. But I misjudged how risky it is and how I'm not able to actually understand what's happening outside. I'm just sort of making assumptions and being in my head, and that happens.
But ठीक है, मैं दिस इज अ स्किल जो हर डिज़ाइनर या हर एक इंसान को कैलकुलेटिव रिस्क जो होता है अपने करियर में.
No, but I thought it was a calculative risk, but
that will come out of experience.
I thought it was a calculative risk, but it was, I had miscalculated that it was a bigger risk than I calculated. And then I'm like, and then when you pour your energy or everything in those things, when you thought it will work, but you're
young, bro. You're young, abhi.
But like but the thing is कि जैसे मेरी identity में basically okay, those things will work out. I'll work it out somewhere, and then when you're like maybe work out करेगी, maybe ना करेगी, तो तुम्हारे नीचे धरती खिसक जाती है ना. Like you have a foundation of belief of something, and when धरती खिसक जाती है, you're like okay, where do I stand? What do I do? Is it going to work? Is it going to not work? Chaos happens.
But still, like I personally, because I've known you for a very long time now, it's too early.
I know.
Too early to come at an outcome as of now.
I'm not. No, the thing is, I came to an outcome and I thought it would work, but then I'm like, okay, आगे काम करेगा कि नहीं? I think I need to take a step back, reevaluate myself, and also get out. Like, so the thing is कि अभी recently, because I was focused more on work and मेरा travel बहुत हो गया था because of work. So usually I'm quite a social kind of guy. And अभी recently मैं बहुत लोगों से interact नहीं कर पा रहा था. There have a lot of friends I still miss, and I'm not able to meet them very often. तुमसे ही 2 हफ्ते बात नहीं हुई. A lot of other friends हमारे ग्रुप में जो है, हमारी क्लास में जो हैं, मेरे ग्रेजुएशन के फ्रेंड्स, मेरे स्कूल के फ्रेंड्स, जिनसे मैं बहुत समय से बात नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ because of so many things going on.
Shall we do a everythingux meet up? I mean, I want to meet our people for sure. I want to meet
new people as well.
New people. I want to connect with our audience. जो नए लोग फॉलो करना स्टार्ट हुए, देयर आर फ्यू पीपल हु हैव स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग टू मी ऐसा. बट समडे आई वुड लव टू ब्रिंग ऑल ऑफ अस टुगेदर एंड देन टॉक, बिकॉज बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं यार, मतलब डिज़ाइनर्स के दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट वर्क. देयर आर सेवरल चैनल्स टॉकिंग अबाउट UX, UI, ट्रेंड, blah 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 blah. So right, but these are things which people don't really get to hear, right?
So why? सही बात है कि लाइक आई एम स्टिल फिगरिंग आउट. एंड अगेन वो चीज़ आई थिंक अब वो मेरे को मेरे क्लोज फ्रेंड ने बताई कि यू नीड टू स्टार्ट गेटिंग आउट एंड मीटिंग पीपल. यू नीड टू स्टार्ट गेटिंग आउट एंड टॉकिंग टू पीपल. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट स्टे एट वन प्लेस. या इवन लाइक मैं जब अभी मुंबई आया था 1 हफ्ते के लिए, मैं घर पर ही था बिकॉज आई वॉज सो एनरोज इन वर्क. एंड उसके मेरे को ऐसे बिल्कुल ऐसे हार्ड हिटिंग फैक्ट्स देने के बाद मैंने रियलाइज कि आई एम नॉट डूइंग दैट. आई नीड टू गेट दैट डूइंग अगेन, बिकॉज फॉर 2 reasons. Firstly, for myself, to actually know कि क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में, and what am I lacking, and what I have to actually understand where I am in the world and how will I go about it. Even if I am an outlier, I still have a place in the world, right?
Okay, what if a designer doesn't have a social or like a unique identity?
I don't know. Like everyone has unique identities. It cannot be. कुछ identity है किसी की unique. That has to happen. Like identity का मतलब यूनिक होता है. हाँ, like yes, you sort of start clubbing identities in a pack and वो सब, but then उसमें भी हल्का change होता रहता है because
So
we
what
are
is that
human is
one thing that
complex.
you are seeking for? Do you want to stand out?
I think yes, I want to stand out, but also I want to sort of know like दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है, then I can make my opinion कि okay, even if I'm standing out, am I like, is it actually right for me to do it in a certain way or not? Like in a certain way I'm standing out still, but when I get to know क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में, then look okay, how can I be, am I actually standing out the right way, am I on the right path to standing out or to achieving what I want, or am I not?
But bro, like I honestly feel unless you make a move, you never know, right?
That's what, yeah.
So it's okay to fail. Like if you feel ki whatever you plan for yourself didn't work for, you should be okay with it, I guess.
I think maybe I don't know.
Maybe you're
that's
thinking too much. Huh?
Maybe I don't know. The thing I think is ki I think I'll figure out more when I sort of interact more with people, get to know more a lot, because I have some things in my head now. I have to put it down and see ki what comes back to me. If I don't like it, then I'll be like, okay, मेरे को ये चाहिए. Even if I like it, I'll be like, ये चाहिए. Like I'll get to know कि like it's like a litmus test. कि litmus कैसा react कर रहा है, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe ये मेरे को क्यों hurt कर रहा है, मेरे को maybe यही चीज़ करनी है या नहीं करनी है. So there's stuff like that. So I think वो एक when you are sort of again getting self-aware, like it's like a self-aware का cycle ऐसे renew हो रहा है अभी. तो मेरा वो sort of एक renew हुआ है, so I'm sort of in a very chaotic state mentally. I'm not saying I'm like ऐसे कुछ बहुत ऐसे तबीयत खराब चल जाए ऐसा कुछ, but like I'm going through it, but I'm also sort of not worried about, I'm sort of confused and sort of lost about a lot of things, which I recently realized कि it's okay, but like for me I was like कि yes, I'll do everything, and I had that level of confidence जो तुम लोग सबने कॉलेज में देखा कि yes किसी तरीके से कर लूँगा, and sort of
I'm sure you'll achieve, bro.
I know, thanks, but like I've built that confidence.
Episode के बाद you'll get a hug, bro.
Thank you भाई. But like हाँ वो एक कभी confidence hit ले लेता है, and then you start doubting everything कि everything सही है कि नहीं है, everything goes. So वो तो state चल रहा है.
चलो ठीक है.
वही है.
I really appreciate for like being so honest.
Thank you.
And publicly accepting what you're going through. Again, this is a topic I want to personally touch upon, कि mental health of designers being in India, where their field and profession itself is not so recognized, right? And और इतनी ज़्यादा disparity है. You see accomplished designers who are making good, right? And then mostly लोगों के साथ हो रहा है. And then this is something I would really appreciate if people start coming up and start talking about it.
Especially in design, because you are trying to create something of yourself, something which resonates with how you want to express. And designer का मतलब एक designer brings a certain level of expression with their work. And if you're not able to express yourself properly, then that it feels little less satisfying to you. And after that वो खाती है. So and that affects people a lot. Same with me कि I'm not able to figure out कि मेरे को क्या satisfy कर रहा है क्या नहीं कर रहा है. Even if what I'm looking out for, even if what I'm pursuing is the right path or not, will that satisfy me or not? I'm assuming कि होगा, but maybe ना हो. And I haven't actually talked about कि जो मेरे ideas है, जो मैं सोच रहा हूँ, जो what I'm planning to do, will it work? So that's why I'm sort of getting out. I'm already reaching out to people. I'm trying to meet new people. I'm trying to meet old friends. Just to have a conversation. Let's see कि क्या हो रहा है दुनिया में, क्या हो रहा है.
I mean, since I've distanced myself from a lot of like old friends and people I used to know, they've started reaching me out because I was never so social the way I am these days through reels and all. Even though I don't talk upfront, I don't reach out to them. But then people have started recognizing कि हाँ ये बंदा इंटरनेट में एकदम से क्यों आ रहा है, ऐसे बातें क्यों कर रहा है. They are reaching out to me, and I feel it will go back and forth. I'll go back and then I'll say,
I think like, that's necessary.
I'll educate them थोड़ा बहुत whatever a little bit I know.
Whatever you're learning from this, भाई क्योंकि इससे भी कुछ बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है.
A lot of people are questioning why we are doing this and all of that, and then
I think a lot of like you said ना कि अगर डिजाइनर की सोशल लाइफ नहीं हो तो क्या है. I think during this chaotic process which I'm going through, like I'm still going through it honestly. अभी भी मेरे चैनल पे like पिछले पॉडकास्ट थोड़ा शांत सा है बिकॉज पिछले पॉडकास्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिव था, बट लाइक स्टिल
व्हाट डू यू थिंक मुनीफ, कैसा लग रहा है अनन आज? हाँ
आई तो मैं हैंडसम हूँ, मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ, उस बात को मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं हूँ हैंडसम भाई, ऐसे नहीं है मैं बिहेवियर की बात कर रहा हूँ यार मेरे.
The amount of girls gonna get into his DMs after
No,
this podcast, bro.
No, वो चीज नहीं. I'm taken, don't worry. वो चीज नहीं. Sorry, I'm not in market. I'm sorry, I'm not in market.
Oh shit.
हाँ, so but yeah.
That's
तुम्हारे दिल तोड़ लो मुनीम, और किसी का नहीं तोड़ना मैं. ऐसे टोई.
बहुत से लड़कियों के दिल तोड़ रहे हैं.
but
That could be a title for the podcast, ना, a designer who start breaking hearts, ऐसा कुछ.
But the thing is कि
that heartthrob designer.
But still the thing I realized with my friend, you know, actually like hitting that hard hitting facts, उसके बाद सोचने के बाद realize हुआ कि designers and in general people need to have conversation because हम लोग social animals हैं, and that socializing does help us to reinvent our thinking, refine our thinking, and मैं वो नहीं कर रहा था, and that was the biggest mistake. जो ये मेरे को समझ में आ गई कि मैं biggest mistake क्या थी, मैं I was not talking to people, I was not reaching out to people, I was not sharing my thoughts, my ideas with people. That's why now I am so uncertain with things because I was in my own cloud, I was in my own bubble, and वो bubble break हो गया. So like now I need to reinvent myself, I need to figure out a lot of things. तो वो एक sort of ऐसे chaos चल रहा है. So but yeah, ये है कि now I know कि क्या करना है to actually you know navigate through that chaos. When you are in chaos, then you have to navigate through, you have to go and do things to actually figure out क्या होना है क्या नहीं होना है. So that's the plan कि I'll sort of bring myself out again जो पहले जैसे था, and you know share my ideas, share my thoughts, right. What I'm thinking, what I want to do, and just like share and listen to other people as well. Maybe उनसे बहुत कुछ idea है, you never know, and like just interact with people.
काफी डार्क हो गया यार ये वाला episode. We didn't plan it to be this way. है ना?
हमने तो randomly बोला भाई पॉडकास्ट बनेगा, ठीक कर लेते भाई. मैं बात करने के लिए कोई मना नहीं करता.
I just figured out bro कि like we haven't talked in like 2 or 3 weeks अच्छे से, so we should do this. Were you comfortable enough sharing it with, you know, this is gonna go live?
I know, but I'm okay with it. Because
I feel similarly ऐसे बहुत से लोग भी होंगे, and then they must be feeling unheard, and then
that's one part, but also sharing that, like even when I'm talking about this constantly, even though camera के सामने बात कर रहा हूँ, firstly yes, it helps people because somebody who's thinking like that maybe can actually relate to a certain way,
or maybe DM you, we never know.
देखो हेल्प चाहिए हो, बात करनी है, I'm always there. DM कर लेना भाई, मैं मना नहीं कर रहा.
Everybody give young man a hug after this episode.
So but the thing is कि उसके अलावा even when I'm talking about things like these, मेरे दिमाग में कुछ मेरे को जब खुद को सुन रहा हूँ ये मे भी मेरे दिमाग में ऐसा चल रहा था, जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो ऐसे साउंड कर रहा है. So I'm still refining that thought while I'm speaking. So that is obviously helping that.
चलो,
that's that.
On that note, ये को ना
बात तुम्हें करनी थी क्रिएटिव एजेंसी रन करने की, कहाँ से कहाँ ले आए तुम बात को.
We didn't plan it to be this way, honestly. Now you have got some travel plans ahead.
Yep.
I think you should travel. Just
भाई मेरी जिंदगी में ट्रैवल चल रहा है, इसलिए मैं वो ब्रेक लेने गया था, उसका ब्रेक अलग हो गया.
You should adapt and then accept the fact.
I think what I realized,
rather than running away, see बहुत सारी चीज़ होती है, बहुत से लोग होंगे जिनके पास access नहीं होगा to travel to shift to Mumbai. It's tough to survive over here, blah blah blah. But then you have to adapt and make the most out of it, and you're getting to travel. So
हाँ वो बात है.
So
I think भाई कि भाई adaptation वाली बात मेरे को समझ में है कि maybe I have reached a stage in my life where I have sort of completed, like I treat my life as a game. Like this is the game going on and मेरी ये level complete हो गई है. Now to get to the next level, I need to shift my sort of like character development basically. मेरा character के stats change करने होंगे मेरे को because and like and that requires I think for me to rethink myself, understand कि मेरे को actually क्या करना है, क्या काम करेगा क्या नहीं करेगा, and for that फॉर दैट स्टैट्स इम्प्रूवमेंट मेरा ये जो इंटरेक्शन वाला जो मेरा पॉइंट जो कम था मेरा स्टैट्स था वो मैं बढ़ाने वाला हूँ. So I think that will help. So I think yeah.
For sure. Abhi you're gonna travel, have fun for sure, bring a lot of stories. Next episode that we do with you, like I'm hoping कि उसमें we have more fun and brighter side of the conversation.
Actually मैंने प्लान नहीं करा था ऐसा होगा तो मैं पूछ लिया कि इतना ऐसा कैसे.
I don't know, it just happened, you know, we never script our episodes.
हाँ ये तो है.
So चलो ठीक है. On that note I'm gonna end. Thanks for coming on the episode. Thanks bhai. And yeah, as I said, everyone give young man a hug after this. चलो.
Thank you guys.
ठीक है. Bye bye.
अरे भाई बस. Thank you.
ये रोल हो रहा है.
Thank you यार.
It's gonna be difficult but मैं पक्का करूँगा इसके बाद.
ऐसे करोगे तो